Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to have a little car conversation, but I'm also taking you guys with me on my day as a real estate agent. We have a couple things we're doing as a real estate agent slash mom, because that's kind of what this video is about. So before we get into it, let me just give a little bit of background as to where I'm coming from and why I'm making this video. So if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah. I'm a real estate agent in the beautiful state of Oregon. If you're a realtor outside of Oregon and you have a client relocating to Oregon, send them my way. I'd love to give you a referral fee. I have been a licensed realtor since I was 18. A couple years after getting licensed, my husband Spencer quit his job and joined me. We've been a husband and wife real estate team ever since. I am now with a brokerage called Real Broker that allows me to be in connection with, be in relationship with, help, collaborate with agents all over the country, all over the US and Canada, which I love so much. So I do Zoom calls often, but that's not what today's video is about. Like, this video is not about Real Broker. I do Zoom calls often with agents who are thinking about joining us or who have joined us at Real Broker. And many of the agents, I probably because I am a mom and I share my life as a real estate agent, and obviously like being a mom is part of my day as well, so I can't really just share real estate, if that makes sense. So because of that, I'm assuming it has attracted many agents to join our network at this company, who we are able to collaborate with, be in communication with, help, all of that. So many of the agents who reach out to me are also moms in real estate, or there are moms who are getting their real estate license and wanting to join Real Broker, if that makes sense. So because of that, a question I get asked all of the time is, what is it like being a mom in real estate? Is it realistic to have a successful real estate business? You know, there's a lot of stay-at-home moms that like have their real estate license, but are they actually selling any houses? We don't know. Is it realistic to have a top producing real estate business like my husband and I do, while also being a present parent, you know, being a stay-at-home parent, or however you want to do it? And my answer is yes, but it does take intentionality and structure, routines. Like, it's a business, you got to treat it like a business. We're going to get into all of that. So guys, that was a very long introduction. If you stayed through that whole intro and you haven't subscribed already, go hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We come on here consistently. But with all that being said, before we get into the vlog and I share with you what I'm doing today, like what is on the schedule today as a realtor slash mom, I just wanted to share some of the pros and the cons of being a mom in real estate, and why I think being a real estate agent is the best career, business, job, if you even want to call it that, in the entire world that you could think of for being a mom at the same time and having kids and raising a family, and also why it might not be. So some of the reasons why it's a good thing, and then why you might not want to become a real estate agent if you are also in your childbearing era. Okay, guys? So let's get into the video. Let's get into the pros and cons, and then I'll take you guys with me on the vlog. First thing you need to know about being a mom as a real estate agent is it is truly amazing because you can be flexible. And what I mean by that is, I really believe if I'm looking at other careers you could choose to have, you're going to be able to be a lot more flexible as a real estate agent. However, it's important to also note that although you get to make your own schedule and you do have a lot of flexibility running your real estate business, you also need to be flexible sometimes yourself. And so if that's going to be a problem for you, if you're like never okay with being flexible, doing things last minute, running to open a door to a house and like bringing your kids with you, or like writing up an addendum real quick as you're making dinner, or like writing an offer as you're making dinner, like if you're never okay with some of those last minute things, which I personally love because I think it just makes life so much more fun and exciting, the last minute spontaneous, like throw it in there type of things. But if you can't handle that at all, and like that is not your personality or how you want to do your life, then it might not be a good fit for you. But let's talk about the flexibility and what I mean by that in just a minute, and like what that could potentially look like. So what I mean by you have flexibility is I think that there's a common misconception about real estate agents, that if you're in real estate, you are always at the mercy of your buyer's schedule or your seller's schedule, and you are completely like not in control of your schedule at all. You have to be available every weekend. You have to be always available to drop whatever you're doing, leave whatever, Super Bowl party you're at, and go show the house like right at the moment that your buyers want you to. That is a big misconception I think there is, because I know I've had conversations with people when I've told them that I'm in real estate that like have told me, wow, that's cool. I think it sounds fun being a real estate agent, but I could never live my life that way. I don't want to work on weekends. Well, guys, that's not necessarily the case. I think there was a point in time when that was more so the case, but I do not think that's the case anymore. Let me explain a little bit. I also do think that when you're newer, maybe you have to be a little bit more flexible, like your business, you're just getting your business going. So you are a little bit more desperate for clients. But let me just tell you, while there are times when I will leave a party to go show a house and come right back, like I've definitely done that, and I'm happy to do that usually because I actually don't mind, like I genuinely love it. Or where I, wanted to go to bed early that night, but instead I put my kid to bed and now I'm doing some paperwork. Like that does happen sometimes. That is actually the exception though. If you are good with your schedule, you're strict with your schedule and just how you run your business, you have structure, you have routines and all of that. So, the way that the flexibility looks for me right now is I choose to work 2 days out of the week. And that doesn't mean I don't work on the other days. Okay, guys, I have, a good handful of clients I'm working with right now. Like I'm definitely not like 2 days a week and then the other days I don't have my phone on me and I ignore everyone. Like that's not what it looks like. But there are 2 days a week that I utilize childcare for a few hours in the middle of the day, and that's it. And I am very intentional to cram as much work as I can that I don't want to do with my daughter with me during those 2 work days. And I'm very like structured with my time and intentional about how I use that time. It's flexible because I choose to almost never do things in the morning. I really, really value, I feel like life comes in seasons and every season's a little bit different, and who knows what, season we'll be in next year and what things will look like. But at least right now, I'm in a season in my family and my home life where I really, really am enjoying slow mornings with my daughter. We have like a whole morning routine we do together, and I don't want it to be rushed. I enjoy taking our time with this. I enjoy being able to like eat breakfast at the table and read as many books as we want together while we eat, and then do a long walk together, read our Bible. Like I just like not having my mornings rushed right now. As a mom, that's something I really, really enjoy. Part of my like mom life that I enjoy. Okay. And I've been able to be a producing real estate agent, the entire time I've been a mom for almost 5 years now, without most days leaving the house in the morning. So what I mean by that is, yes, there's times when I do have to be flexible and I do have to get to the closing table first thing in the morning, or let a home inspector in first thing in the morning, but that's usually the exception. That's not happening every single day. And so because of that, because my every single day, like the majority of the time doesn't look like that, I'm fine with it when it does happen where I have to be out of the house, like rush out of the house first thing in the morning. You know what I mean? So that's, I guess, an example of what I mean by you do need to be flexible sometimes, but you also do get to make your own schedule. And I would say you're a lot more flexible than most other career paths you could take, because this isn't a career, this isn't a job, this is a business. You're running your own business. The next thing is that there are a million ways to run your business, and there are a million ways to get business. And I really do believe that they all work as long as you're consistent, as long as you have like your systems, your structure in place for your business and all of that. Something I'm like super passionate about. You'll hear me talk about a lot on my channel. However, just because your day as a mom/realtor doesn't look like the same as someone else over here's day as a realtor, it does not mean you cannot be producing, consistently selling houses, and have a successful real estate business. I'll share a little bit of what that might look like for you and what that looks like for me, or what it has looked like for me in the past. My day, most of the time, unless it's one of my 2 days where I'm working, cramming work into the day and like have a little bit of childcare during that day, whatever, those days are kind of exceptions. The rest of the week though, I typically have a day that looks like a lot like a stay-at-home mom. I'm hosting people and like inviting people into my home. I'm going on play dates with my daughter. We're going to the park, going to the library, going to dance class, like whatever. Like my day doesn't look like someone else over here who's going into the office and doing cold calls all day and then doing appointments during the day, okay? So the way that I make this work though and still actually close houses is I have time blocked times where I do my work stuff. So I give myself about an hour or so of time blocked work time during the day. This used to be during my daughter's nap time. Now it's just her, independent play time or whatever. Maybe we'll do a little bit of TV time and that's like her screen time for the day. And I am pretty consistent with that 1 hour or so time block. So I know if it's 11 o'clock in the morning and I'm having a play date with some, friends and my daughter and her friends, I don't feel bad like, oh my gosh, I'm not working, I'm getting behind, because I know I have it time blocked for later in the day, usually around, I'm not super strict with the time, but like usually we do it in the afternoon, sometime between like 1 and 3 is when I'm gonna be sitting down and just chipping away at whatever the most important thing is to do for my business that day. Whether it is, something that I need to be doing that's a little more urgent, like writing an offer for a client, or if I don't have any work like that to do that day, then chipping away at my next video that's going to bring me clients, because that's how we get our... So working in time blocks on my off work days really, really helps make this possible. Also, I know what I'm going to be doing on my on work days. So if it's something that can wait, then I will schedule it for the next on work day, if that makes sense. Now, there are times, like I mentioned before, last night, it was probably 7 p.m. and I was about to put my daughter to bed, but my lender called me and I had to write up a addendum or something and get some paperwork sent in, and ended up having an offer accepted for some first time buyer clients, which was awesome. But I had a little bit of work to do. Did it take me that long? No. Bedtime was delayed by probably 20 minutes. My daughter was happy because she got to keep playing, and she was very happy to do that while I sat at my computer and did like 20 minutes worth of work. Was it a big deal? To me, not at all. So things like that do happen sometimes. And so when I say like I only work during this 1 hour time chunk on my off work days, I do other work, but I don't think of it as work because I just love it and it doesn't feel like work. And to me, it's no big deal. So these are all things to consider. Like, is that something that you're okay with? Or are you somebody who's like not going to be okay with answering the phone ever at 7 o'clock p.m.? So my whole point in saying all of this, though, the point I'm trying to make right here is that your day might not look like somebody else. Like your day, like my day right now, if I were to, and this took me, as a real estate agent mom, this took me a long time to come to terms with and actually have peace with and be okay with, because when I was first a mom, was constantly comparing my day now to my day when I was, an 18 and a brand new agent and had literally no other responsibilities and was able to drive from house to house all day, and it wasn't a problem. But now I have other priorities and I have other things that are obviously very important going on in my life that I did not have when I was 18. So, don't compare your day, and you can still be successful even if your day doesn't look exactly the same as someone else does. You just need to be very intentional with how you use your time. You need to be structured, you need to have systems, and you need to utilize time blocking, okay? So while somebody else who maybe chooses to run their real estate business in a 9-to-5 style, they want to work, from the office from 9 to 5, and then they get home and then they're with their family or whatever. For them, that might work well. For me, there's a lot of days when I choose to be with my daughter all day, and then at 6:30 p.m. I leave and go show a house or whatever. So like, don't compare your day. There are a million ways to run your business and they all work. You just have to be consistent. You have to have a schedule. You have to treat it like a business and be consistent, and it will work. The next downside and upside, okay, to being a mom in real estate, and why I think it's the best thing you could ever do if you're like a motivated person and you have big goals, you want to make a bunch of money, but you also want to be an extremely intentional and present stay-at-home mom at the same time. Not that you have to be a stay-at-home mom to be present and intentional. Don't hear what I'm not saying. This is just what I feel called to do and how I feel called to do it myself. So take what works for you and leave what doesn't. The next tip for this is, or like thing you need to know, it's not really a tip, is you can choose to push the gas pedal and just go really hard, make a bunch of money, sell a bunch of houses, or you can choose to pull back. Now, obviously, don't take this the wrong way, because what I'm not saying is that you can just abandon your business for months or weeks at a time even, and then expect to have a pipeline. Like, that's not how it works in real estate. It is a lead generating business. That is your number one job. You do not have business. No one's going to give it to you unless you are consistently generating leads. So for me, that means I have it on my schedule every single week to be doing some sort of prospecting and or marketing activity that I know will bring me clients. And I am extremely consistent and disciplined. I never miss this. I'm always fulfilling that obligation, if you know what I mean. So yes, you do need to stay consistent, but you do have the ability to say, for example, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was very sick for a long time and just like throwing up every day. And so I chose to take the whole first trimester like extremely slow and pretty much took it off work. And like there were a few, couple clients I think I was working with, but other than that, I really wasn't like trying super hard to go get more business. I knew that was a season where I wanted to pull back, and I was able to. So like you're able to do that, obviously have realistic expectations and know that like you're not gonna be making as much money. That's a downside. Or no, like you're gonna probably have to like be a little bit more intentional and work a little bit harder to like get going again once you come back. But you do have that ability, which is a beautiful thing. The next reason why being a real estate agent is the best, most fun business to be in as a mom is that honestly, a lot of the things that you do as a realtor for your business are very much so like kid friendly or family friendly things. Okay, now let me explain what I mean by this. And don't come at me because I'm not talking about child labor, but listen, I have a whole point here. So wait till I get to the point. My daughter is so excited to help me put my New Year's letters going out to my past clients in an envelope. Like, she is so excited to be part of my business and do that job with me. And she's actually really productive and helpful with it. There's a lot of things in your business that you do that you can include your kids in and with, and it doesn't have to be a burden having them with you. Like, I really believe in like making it fun with them. Like, if my daughter's coming with me, for example, to do a virtual showing where I'm videoing a house, I don't just bring her with me and expect it to go super well. Now that's something I'm doing where I'm not bringing a client, but I am videoing the house. So I don't want her to be like disruptive in the video or whatever. But I do what I can. I have realistic expectations, one, for having a kid with me, but so I'm, allow myself more time because things take more time with kids. But also I prepare and do what I can to make it the most positive experience for both of us as possible. Meaning I will pack with us in her little backpack. I'll bring her like some sticker books and coloring books or activity books or like some little toys to play with or something like that. So she's entertained while we're driving there and while we're at the house, while she comes inside with me. I will, if we're out letting an inspector into a home, which is totally something you can bring your kid with you, I will get her a cake pop on the way and like make it a fun and exciting thing. So there's so many things that you actually do in your real estate business that are actually things you can bring the whole family with. And now you might be like, well, that sucks. Why would you want to do that? I, for one, enjoy it. It makes my day better because I like having my daughter with me and she enjoys it too. If we prepare, you know what I mean? Like, we prepare, we bring snacks. I also think it is really good for kids to be involved in the family business. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying child labor. I'm not saying like making them work for you. Although I do pay my daughter to do some things, and I pay well, and she loves working for money, and she enjoys it. However, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying though is this is something I think has really honestly been lost in our culture, in like the Western culture especially, that I think is really, really good for kids and really important. I know how I was raised. My family owned an amusement park, and they did other business things too. But one of the things that they did was they owned an amusement park. And I know I spent so much time sitting in the back of the snack bar of the amusement park with a coloring book, or sitting in on a meeting, and like, it was kind of boring at the time, but I truly feel, although I didn't really understand a lot of what was going on, I really feel like I learned more from observing and just going along on business trips with my parents and like being involved in those things. I really feel so strongly about this, that I learned way more things that I use in my actual life, my entrepreneur life, my business life, things that actually matter. I learned from those experiences. Like, I feel like I learned way more valuable things than I ever did sitting in a desk at school. That is 1000% my opinion on that. And there's a book that I really recommend everybody reads. It's called Take Back Your Family by Jefferson Bethke. And this isn't what the whole book's about, but he does mention this in like a pretty good chunk of it, where he talks about the nuclear family, and how, especially in like the Christian culture since like the 1950s, we've really kind of idolized the nuclear family, where like the wife stays at home and doesn't do anything except for housework and kid work, and then the husband leaves all day and is gone. And just like rethinking the nuclear family, and like, is that really God's best? Is that how things were in biblical times? No, like, this is a whole rabbit hole. You might not care about this, but this is something I feel very strongly about. And I guess all of this to say, I think that including your kids and like having them see you do your stuff in your business, and even helping or being around, being present when they can, I think it's extremely beneficial to them and an extremely positive, just good thing. The next reason why I really believe that being a real estate agent and being a mom are like the best fit together, and if you're looking for a career business that you can do at the same time, this is probably as good as it's gonna get, is that I can't read in Proverbs 31 about the Proverbs 31 woman without it just being highlighted about how she was an entrepreneur. And based off of all the studying that I've done of her, at least, I really believe that she was an extremely present, intentional, excellent parent, which is like one of my biggest goals in life and the most important things for me. But at the same time, she was an entrepreneur. She wasn't just doing housework. I actually personally believe she outsourced a lot of her housework. It's just my own personal theory, but I think she had house cleaners. I think she did a lot of outsourcing in that area. But she was an entrepreneur, and I just really believe like we were made to do both together at the same time. And that's something I feel so personally passionate about doing, is like running my business to the best of my ability, being a mom to the best of my ability, but not like running my business in a way where I have to leave my daughter all day, or being a parent in a way where I can't run a business, which is a huge passion on my heart. I really believe that we have the ability to do both together at the same time. And I think that real estate is like the most conducive for doing both together at the same time. I was on a Zoom call the other day with a brand new real estate agent in another state who is wanting to join us at Real Broker. By the way, if you're like, what's Real Broker? Head over to my channel. I have an entire playlist talking about it. And this agent was chatting with me about Real Broker, trying to see if it would be a good fit for her or not. As she's, starting her real estate career. She is a mom, stay-at-home mom currently. She has 2 kids. She's been a stay-at-home mom her entire mom life, whatever. And her big thing that she was talking about was how she feels as though this is going to be a good career path for her, because she's already been on a one household income her entire mom life. She's been a stay-at-home mom up until this point. getting her real estate license. So she doesn't feel this rush of like, oh my gosh, I have to make money right away. And I think that if you're a mom and you're in that situation, this is such a good business for you to be in, because honestly, in real estate, it is the type of thing where it takes time to finally get your business going. I know the failure rate is so high. I think it's high for most businesses, but the failure rate for being a real estate agent, I think it's like 90% or something crazy like that of everyone that gets their license will be out of the business within 5 years. And I think there's a handful of reasons for that. I think a lot of people get into the business and expect business to be handed to them. They don't know how actual, like, much of a business it is. Like, I don't want to say hard, because it is hard, but I think it's more just like, you need to be disciplined, you need to be structured, you need to treat it like a business. Like, it is a business. People maybe are coming from a job and they expect to not run a business, or they don't know how. But I also think one of the big reasons why there is such an extremely high failure rate in real estate is the fact that many people get their license and they don't anticipate how long it's going to take to actually start making money, because there is so much opportunity. There's agents just making insane amounts of money. There's like literally no glass ceiling, which is a beautiful thing. It takes more time than you probably might expect. So a lot of people are in that position where they're like, I got to provide for my family. I have to keep the lights on in my house. And it's just taking too long to get my business going, so I have to quit. I think that's the case for a lot of people. However, if you are like this sweet gal that I got to meet and talk to over Zoom yesterday, she actually has the opportunity to get her business going and take some time. And while that could be a downside because you don't have the urgency there, like, I know when I first started, I was not in the position in life that I'm in, and I had a lot of urgency because I was 18 and I was getting married, and I knew like the only way for me to get married so young and make it work, like, was to also be pulling in like a good amount of income too, like with my husband's income. I knew that. And so I had a lot of motivation. That was like one, I had a handful, but that was one of the big motivations for me. But I think, so it could be a downside because you could get lazy and like not be like, oh, I don't need to prioritize it. So like, you gotta have goals. You gotta be motivated. You know what I mean? But all that to say, I do think that could be beneficial because you have a little bit of time to like actually get things going. In real estate, it is the kind of thing where you have to be okay with putting in the hours and putting in the work before you see results. I think that's honestly most businesses, but people are just not willing to work for free. But you gotta work for free if you wanna work for make a lot of money. And most businesses, honestly, probably all. And this gal who I was talking to, who's in this awesome position, because she is currently a stay-at-home mom, she was saying that she plans to get business through video marketing, which that is the kind of thing I can tell you it works. I just got a buyer under contract yesterday that came through video marketing. I get buyers under contract all the time who come from video marketing, and I love it so much, but it does take time. It's not the kind of thing where you're gonna like post a video and all of a sudden be making a bunch of money. You have to be consistent before you see results. So she has time though to actually get that going. And another quick side note is I really truly believe that video marketing is the best thing that you can do if you're wanting to be a real estate agent and also be a mom, aka work the least amount of hours and make the most amount of money. When I was a brand new agent, I spent so much time and effort cold calling. That was where most of my business came from, and I loved it. I did a lot of like old school prospecting methods and I enjoyed it. However, it is so much more time consuming than making videos, because when you make videos that attract the best clients to you, for one, you make the video and then you put it out there and then you wait for the clients to call you. I could literally be at the beach with my family on vacation and my videos are going to work for me. Like, my videos are working for me, which is a really beautiful thing. And with other forms of prospecting, like, you have to be physically making the calls every day, door knocking every day, or you're not going to have the results. But I have videos that I made years ago that are still to this day bringing me clients, which is amazing. While I'm sleeping. Many of the clients that you get through video marketing are going to be out-of-state clients, meaning they're not going to be actually here in person where you're living. And the reason I think that's so great as a mom, yes, I love working with clients in person because I'm an extremely extroverted person, and I just love getting to meet my clients in person. And to me, it's just something that fills my cup so much, and I genuinely love it. However, it is also very nice working with a lot of your clients not in person when you are a mom, because you're going to a virtual showing. I'm like going to go tour a virtual house right now. Look at what I'm wearing. Like, I can dress like this. I can do it on the way to my daughter's activity I'm taking her to, you know, like I'm not actually meeting with anyone in person, and it just makes things so much easier. The last thing that I will mention though about being a mom and a real estate agent at the same time, or I guess not being a mom and a real estate agent, this is more about being like a stay-at-home mom and a real estate agent, because if you go to the office every day and you're not with your kid all day, like things are going to definitely look different than this. Some of these things can still for sure apply to you. And again, not saying that's wrong or not good to do it that way. This is just what I feel called to do, and like my personal journey. Okay. However, oh my gosh, car, don't hit me. However, with all of that being said, while there is so much flexibility, there is so much amazingness, amazing, positive, beautiful things about being a real estate agent and a mom at the same time, you need to keep in consideration this is a business, and you have to keep it like a business, or you're just going to be a mom with your real estate license that doesn't actually close any houses. And I think this is actually something that's pretty interesting. I have seen, there's a good handful that I follow that I really am inspired by of, on Instagram, of, top producing, not just, you know, moms with their real estate license that aren't doing anything, top producing real estate agents who are homeschooling their kids at the same time. And I'm not saying I have no clue what I'm going to do with my kids. I'm right now leaning heavily towards small private schooling, but, obviously we'll do whatever the Lord is leading my family and I to do for schooling. But regardless of if, you know, this is something I ever choose to do or not, this is definitely something I'm very inspired by. And I saw a quote that one of them put out once saying that like top producing real estate agent women also make the best homeschooling moms, because you have to be structured, you have to have routines and all of that. And like, you're already good at that stuff. Like, it's what you do. And I think there's something to be said about like running your entire business, running your entire household as a business. That's something I've kind of done for a while. Like, I've shared this before, but I have systems, I have structure, and it's not so structured and systemized to where like there's no flexibility and nothing's last minute, but having like routine, structure, whatever in your day-to-day life, but also in your business, like you need it. So anyway, all that to say, this is a business and you have to treat it like a business. You have to be okay with, you have to be flexible. While there is a ton of flexibility, you do have to be okay with sometimes taking calls at 8 o'clock at night, or writing up an offer late at night, or like on Thanksgiving, I was driving before I went to dinner with my family, I was delivering a gift to my clients and giving them keys to a house. Like, and that's fine with me. Like I said, I love this so much, and I'm not over here working for someone else, building someone else's business. Like, this is my business and I love it. And so I truly don't mind those things. I have left Super Bowl parties before to go show a house to clients who were in town, and then came back, which again, I don't mind. I don't even like the Super Bowl, so I don't care. Like, I don't even like football. I don't know what's going on. But to me, those little things, it's just like, oh, it's a fun little curveball. We were planning on doing this, but now we get to go over here too. How fun, how exciting. You know what? It makes life spicy and exciting. Okay, so you gotta treat it like a business, because it is a business. It's not a job, it's not a hobby. You gotta treat it like business. And that means, I would say the most important thing in order to actually have a successful real estate business, and this goes for if you're like doing it as a stay-at-home mom or not, is you gotta have consistent prospecting and or marketing in your schedule every week, consistently. And you can't be like, oh, I don't feel like it today, or oh, I just don't have the energy today, or oh, so-and-so wants me to do this with them. No. We are now entering the blog portion of today's video. Okay, so let's just talk about what's on today's agenda, and then we're gonna go do it real quick. Okay, so what's on today's agenda is I'm going to a new construction community in West Salem, and I'm going to make a video about this community because this is, like I mentioned earlier, video marketing. This is one of the ways I get the best clients ever coming straight to my email inbox begging to work with me is video marketing. So I'm going to go make a quick video. I just had a hair appointment and I sat in that chair for 2 hours and worked the entire time. I did that strategically, but everything I needed to do, sent some things needed into the title company. I got a home inspection scheduled. I got back to clients about things, and I literally did it all in my hair appointment chair. So now we're done. So now I am going to go film that house, and then we are going to probably return some library books. Then we're going to stop at Trader Joe's because we're having some family and friends over for dinner on Friday, and then a few days later, Monday morning, I'm having some girlfriends over for a little brunchy brunch, and so we got to get food for both of those things just so we're prepared. Then I'm gonna pick up my daughter. We'll probably have some more time before this, but I probably won't vlog it. Gonna take her to dance and get on with the rest of our day. So come on with me, guys. Let's go. Also, if you say that you cannot start filming videos for your real estate business until you have proper equipment, that is the lamest excuse ever. I'm using my phone right now, no professional audio or lighting. This is exactly what I use to get the best business ever. This right here, and this is literally my stand. DIY, guys, using what we had in the car. This is what I had been putting my phone up against. That is my tripod. So no excuses, guys. Right now we are about to take a look at a brand new construction community off the West Salem Bridge from downtown up from there, depending on the model that you get.
Your spot, like in the library?
That's a good question.
We're gonna check out.
I'm gonna get the kids because I want to try to get a picture.